Okay, so hello everyone. The question which we will be solving today is check if grid can be cut into n sections, right? Okay. So as you can see, the question number is 3394 and it is marked as a medium one. Okay, it's today's LeetCode POTD, right? Okay. So let's just read the description and try to solve this problem, right? So you are given an integer n representing the dimensions n cross n grid with the origin at the bottom left corner of the grid. Okay. You are also given a 2D array of coordinates rectangle where rectangle I is in the form of start x, start y, end x, and y, presenting the rectangle on the grid. Each rectangle is defined as follows. Start x and start y represent the bottom left corner of the rectangle, and the end x and the end y represent the top right corner of the rectangle. Okay. Note that the rectangle do not overlap. Okay. So your task is to determine if it is possible to make either two horizontal or two vertical cuts on the grid such that each of the three resulting sections formed by the cuts contains at least one rectangle. Every rectangle belongs to exactly one section. Okay. Return true if such cuts can be made, otherwise return false. Okay. So we have been provided with a grid, right? Okay. So and we have provided with the rectangles array. Okay. So let me just show you here what represents what. Okay. Sx, Sy, and Ex and Ey. Okay. So 1 comma 5, what does this represent? This represents 1, 5. Okay. And 0 comma 2. So 0 represents this, 2 represents this, right? Okay. So this is a grid. So we need to cut it in such a way that we cut in we cut exactly we need to make two cuts. Okay. So it will be divided such like we need to make three cuts such that it is divided into two like three equal sections, 1, 2, and 3, and every rectangle belong to one of the sections. Okay. So no section should be empty. Okay, it must contain a rectangle. So this is the question. Now let's just see how we can solve it. Okay. Okay. So tell me one thing. Like, why can't we cut it this way? Like this way. So why can't we cut it like this? Because it will like divide these rectangles, right? So we can't cut it. Can we cut this? No. Again, not. Because it is cutting the rectangles, right? Okay. So can we cut this way? Yes, it is cut, this is the correct way to cut it because this section has a rectangle and it's not like cutting any rectangle. Similarly, we can cut this way. So what does this mean? This means that like we in this like the section, like if we cut this way, each section has a rectangle and no rectangle is being divided, right? Okay. So let's just try to observe that how can we able to cut this way and not that way or with either of the ways, right? So let's just first write the row wise, I would say row wise like coordinates, right? So what will be our row wise coordinates? So what will be the row wise coordinates? Row wise. Okay. So suppose if we write it, it will be 1, 5, right? Because this is x, sx, and this is sy. Oh, ex. So this is starting of x, and this is ending of x, right? So we will have 1 comma 5, right? Then we come to here, it will be 0 comma 2, right? Then we come to here, it will be 3 comma 5, right? 3 comma 5. Okay. Then we come to this, right? It will be 0 comma 4, 0 comma 4. Okay. So now we have we have the intervals, I would say, like the coordinates. Okay. So can we just sort it? Yeah, probably we can. So if we sort it, it will become 0 comma 2, 1 comma 5, and what do we have? Okay, this will not be 0 comma 5, it will be 0 comma 4, right? And this will be 1 comma 5, right? And this will be 3 comma 5, right? See here, overlapping doesn't mean like suppose if a rectangle ends at 0 comma 2 and another starts as 2 comma 3, so this is not overlapping, right? So can we just merge these intervals and find the overlapping intervals? Probably we can. Okay, so let's just do it. Okay, see, these were the overlapping intervals or not? Yes, so that's why we weren't able to cut it, right? So we can just find the overlapping intervals and see how many like intervals are remaining which are non-overlapping. Okay, so is this interval overlapping? Like just use a different color for it. Okay, tell me these two. This is the this should be a better color. Okay. Tell me that this one and first one and the second one, are they overlapping? Yes, so can we merge them? Probably we can. So if we merge it, it will become 0, 4, right? Okay. So this is 1 and so let's just say this is 2. Tell me that are they overlapping? Yes, so we can probably merge them. So it will become 0, 5, right? Okay. So like this is the 1 now and this is the. So tell me that are they overlapping? Yes, so we can just merge them and it will become 0, 5. So we got a single interval. Okay, so if there is a single interval, you can't cut it, right? You can't cut it. Okay, so we can't cut it, right? Let's just see column wise if we can do something or not. Okay. The same thing which we did here, we do it for the column wise, right? This was the row wise. Now we are going to write the, or let me just use a different color for it. Okay. Okay. So yeah, column wise, right? So what are the, like, this will be starting of y and this will be like the ending of y, right? So first one will be 0 comma 2, right? Then we will have 2 comma 4, right? 2 comma 4. Then we will be having 2 comma 3, which 2 comma 3. Then we will be having 4 comma 5. So we have 4 comma 5, right? Okay. Let's just sort it, right? So after sorting it, we will be getting 0 comma 2, 2 comma 3, 2 comma 4, and 4 comma 5, right? So now let's let's just try to merge it, right? So tell me one thing, that is 1 and 2 overlapping? No, they are like uh, they are not overlapping. This is 0 to 2, 0 to 2, and this is like 2 to 3, 2 to 3. They are not overlapping in this case, okay? Because if they were overlapping, we can't put the 2 to 3. See, this is not overlapping. Okay, so this is not overlapping. Okay, so now we move forward, right? So now we check, like this will be 1 and this will be 2. Are they overlapping? Yes, they are overlapping. So you can see. So this will now be merged. So what does it become? It becomes 2 comma 4. Okay. So now tell me that this and this, like 1 and 2, are they overlapping? Are these two overlapping? No. So what intervals did we got? So what intervals do we have now? Okay, we probably have, like, if we find out, it will be something like 0 comma 2, 2 comma 4, and 4 comma 5. Okay, so we can make a cut here and we can make a cut here. That's what we are doing. We're cutting at 2 and we're cutting at 4, right? Okay. So, like, I will be telling you one more thing, that you need to check, if you don't need to check that if you have the, like, if you can cut or not. You can just see, if you are like merging the intervals, if intervals intervals are greater than 2, you can just return, right? Because a single interval, let's suppose this is interval, right, which is I1. A single interval, no, you can't divide it into sections. Okay. If there are two intervals, you can divide it in one section, but you won't be getting the third section. And if it's greater than, like, I2, you can definitely divide it. Okay. So no matter how much big it is, okay, you can, like, after 2, if there are intervals, you can definitely divide it. Okay. So that's the intuition, like that's the solution for this question. Okay. So now let me just show you the code and we will be good to go, right? Okay. So yeah, this was a test case which I would call step, but you won't be getting stuck because I was, like, using a different approach for it. You won't be getting stuck. Okay. Let me just show you the code. So what I just did here is that first I calculated the row wise, right? Checked if it's valid. If it's valid, I am returning true. So, okay. So if you can cut row wise, you don't have to check for the column, right? Okay. So that's what I did, right? Okay. Similarly, if this fails, I am checking for the column wise, right? And if column wise fails, we are just returning the false at the end. So now let me just show you the valid function and then we will be good to go. Okay. So I just sorted it. Okay. Calculated the size n. You set the use and index or something like that. I have used a temporary array in which I'll be storing intervals, right? You can merge it in a single one also, but for the readability, I have used template. Okay. I have taken the starting, I have taken the end, and I have moved the I. If I is less than n E, like the ending, is greater than the I dot first. I'm just moving ahead, taking the E as the maximum and moving the I plus plus. Okay. As soon as this condition fails, I'm pushing it to the temp, and if, like at the end, if temp dot size, which is having the interval, if it's greater than 2, we are just returning the true, right? Okay. So, okay, I think I forgot to just like the, okay. So, yeah, as you can see, the code is running just fine. Okay, we have solved it. Okay. There are like here you can optimize the space, like the merging in the merging part. Okay, so if you want it, you can do it. I want, like, see, for me, it's like you should be getting the intuition, and your code should be, I think it should be readable. I like don't prefer making like tracking complex codes, like just for the sake of a bit optimization. But yeah, in cases in which you need optimization, you must be going for it. Okay. So yeah, that's all for this question. And the question and the code link will be in the description box. So okay. Thank you everyone and have a nice day ahead.